short turnaround for both teams, but what can you take us through kind of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, just what all you can and will get done before game day?
Well, we got back so late Sunday. We didn't do much yesterday. Today we're getting ready to practice here and go through some film work and quick practice. We fly out later today and get in there late tonight, and Wednesday go through the NCAA required stuff and media and that, and hopefully be ready to go late Thursday night.
You practice off-site then tomorrow after the media stuff?
We'll see how we feel. We get a little longer time, since there's only 4 teams. So we may go walk through some stuff somewhere. But, again, it's just making sure mentally they're ready. Physically, you just don't want to tire them out or anything. You just want to make sure you're ready to go.
How quickly were you able to start watching film on Virginia when that game was won?
Well, we watched it on the plane coming home. Got great guys. They had everything up and running. So watched a little bit on the way home and couldn't sleep when we got home. So watched a little bit more.
What are your impressions?
Oh man, they're a very good basketball team. They don't beat themselves. They don't give you easy baskets. Defensively, they know exactly what they want to do, and they've played together. So very cohesive unit. Offensively, they don't turn the ball over. They get the shot they want 9 times out of 10. Guy didn't shoot it well against Oklahoma, but when he shoots it well, they're a very good offensive team. Their offensive efficiency is off the charts. I don't know what it rates nationally, but just watching them, it's got to be really high because they just don't waste any possessions and they don't turn it over.
The connection.
Is that right?
They're top 3 in both of them.
Doesn't surprise me. So
A lot of connections to similarities to Wisconsin, considering Bennett's dad played coach there.
Oh yeah, no. There's, they don't give up easy baskets. They don't beat themselves. Very physical team. Good on the boards. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
Is it going to help then that you guys have faced Wisconsin and faced that kind of a grind-out defense?
Oh, I don't know. Every game's different. It won't hurt us. That 25-25 at half doesn't bother us. We've been there. A lot of teams they panic when they can't score. We've gotten more comfortable with it as the season's gone on. So, some people don't like that pace, but we've learned to adjust to that pace and be okay with it. So, I don't think it'll be a problem.
During this stretch, you guys have been really effective at disrupting the top player on the opposing team. This is a 3-headed monster here with Guy, Jerome, and Hunter. How do you try to disrupt all 3 if you can?
They do have a number of guys that can score. Their big guys do finish inside at a good rate. But Jerome, really makes plays. Hunter can go get his own. And as I mentioned, Guy can really stretch the floor with his shooting. So, it's a very difficult assignment for our team to have to make sure we stop 3 guys. But all 3 of them are capable of having a big game, and really taking over a game. So it will stress our defense. There's no doubt about it. Their offensive efficiency, guys that can make their own plays, and then they just run their stuff. It's they don't run a lot of stuff, but what they do run, it is very well run.
When you guys were recruiting Kenny, was it just his straight-up athleticism that stood out to you guys, and you figured we could mold something out of this, or what was it that kind of first popped?
That was, the thing that really stuck out. Offensive, he was a little behind because he started playing basketball late. And his offensive game is going to come around. He's, he works at it. He's in the gym, and his instincts are okay. And I think he'll become a better passer, a better finisher. But the thing that stuck out was, his ability to block shots, his defensive ability, and we'd had some pretty good athletes here, and saw the same type of young man, and the same kind of athlete that could really generate a lot on the offense or the defensive end of the floor, and hopefully then we develop into a good offensive player.
You kind of saw him rise to the occasion a bit last year towards the end of the Pac-12 tournament. He had a couple of key blocks in those games. what has he kind of done to kind of elevate himself to this position going forward from that?
Well, it's just a progression, a process, and I think he's developing in all areas of the game. He's feeling more comfortable rolling to the basket and finishing some of those. His instincts and feel for the game has become better, so he knows when to come over and block some shots and when not to. But that's just a natural progression, and he slowed with his jaw. I think that really hurt him, but since he's been back, he's really come on strong, and there's no doubt he's a big part of our defense. We saw that when he was out. We lost some games here at home, but we didn't have anybody protecting the rim, and people were getting to the rim on us, and then you start packing it in a little bit, and they start hitting threes. So he's a big part of what we do defensively.
How much has Francis helped in the regard of allowing him to then be on the weak side to get those blocks?
Well, Francis has done a good job. Francis has had a little trouble getting out on the perimeter and guarding, which in our matchup, we kind of ask everybody to do. We don't let anybody really sit in the middle and just, and he feels so much more comfortable in there, and he's having a little trouble getting out. But Francis has given us a lot. His physicality, he can score at that little jump hook inside, but no, he's been, like I said, a big part of this last 10-game stretch, and his energy level is all about the team, and then what he's given us on the court with his physicality.
What's been the difference in execution, Dana, on the defensive end in this 10 games where always the game plan is, like I said, to take away the top opposing player, but you guys have done that at a pretty unbelievable clip here in these 10 games. What's been the difference in these 10 compared to the 5 or 10 before that?
Well, a lot of it's just, we're not giving up nearly as many easy baskets. Start of the second half against Irvine, gets a wide open three. Nobody's even close to him. And then we give up a couple easy baskets inside, and so we were kind of back to our old exchange and baskets mode. That's what concerned me the most. I know we weren't scoring, but if we wouldn't have gave up 12 easy points there, we'd still been in pretty good shape. So just attention to detail. We talked about the communication, guys being much more aware of what the heck's going on, paying more attention to scouting reports, and so just a progression of the team. But again, the communication and guys covering up for each other is much improved.
Were you in Vegas when you felt like guys were starting to really get the message and get into that rhythm?
Oh no, the 2 games here against Arizona and Arizona State, I told our guys that's what it's supposed to look like. So that was the start of it, definitely.
You said earlier in the season that you were wondering whether the players trust the coaching staff. Obviously, there's just been a different chemistry with this team recently. Did you feel like that was a big change in what's happened with this team?
Well, every relationship, it takes time, and there was a time where there was no connection, and they weren't connecting between themselves, and we weren't connecting with them, and that's always frustrating for players. It's frustrating for coaches when don't have everybody on the same page, and it's not unusual for young teams. It's not unusual for teams that haven't been together a lot. You get disappointed if a team's been together a long time and they're not connected, but with new guys and freshmen that want roles and everybody's not sure what's going on, I don't think it's that unusual. It just took this group a little bit longer to all figure it out and try to get on the same page. But when I said that, it wasn't a negative. It was just a fact. We got to get together. And like I said, every relationship, it takes a while, and this one took a lot longer. Everybody's together now, but as soon as this year's over and we start next year, it's a whole different dynamic, and a whole new group of guys come in, and it starts all over. The group and the group dynamics, the team, it's different every year. And this year it was different just because, we start out with 5 freshmen and, grad transfer, and, it was just, it was different. It just took us a while.
But have you ever been a part of a team that's had this dramatic of a shift?
No, I've stated that. I haven't. This last month, I'd like to say I had it all figured out and it was a plan, but I'm pleasantly surprised that the guys have done that. And I'm really happy for them though, because I can just see how they're bouncing around and there's so much more into it and they're happier. And I want them to have fun. God dang, you get a chance to play college ball for 4 years, and if that, some guys 1, 2, whatever it is, you want them to have a good time. The reason Jordan and Dylan and those guys come back and text all the time is because they enjoyed it here. And that's a big part of it. You want them to enjoy it. Yeah, there's work to be done, and some days in practice it isn't fun, but you want the experience to be fun. You want the whole process for them to enjoy it. And when you're frustrated and not playing well, it's kind of hard to enjoy it. But I think they're having a lot of fun now, and that's a big part of it.
I know you're not a big picture narrative guy, but teams can be motivated by kind of having a chip on their shoulder. Do you play up, hey, we're the only double-digit seed, let's kind of surprise some people?
Yeah, Virginia's a good team, we're a good team. We just go play. I don't know, I think motivation enough. We're in the Sweet 16, this is an opportunity to go to the Elite 8. If I got to motivate them now or give them something, then, they don't have a competitive spirit, and this group does. Peyton's a great competitor. All of them are. Those guys, they want to compete. You see that. They kicked it in another gear because they knew if they didn't, we didn't have any chance. And so they are a competitive group, even though at times this year they did not show that competitiveness, and I'll be the first one to admit it. By nature, they are a competitive group, and I don't think I need to motivate them for this one.
There was an accusation against Bull this morning, and we saw it. Does that have any concern for you or anything you feel?
I don't have any information on that, and I have no reason to believe any of it's accurate. So until I get more information, I just don't have any comment on that.
He'll still travel.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.